We're gonna talk a little bit and
You don't
Hey,
know.
we
We
give
live.
gonna talk.
give people a
I mean, we
chance to
gonna
get in
talk a
there.
little bit. You know. I mean, we all got our drinks. I mean, I got my margarita from on the border. Gotta get me ready. What you drinking on?
What you drinking, Ryan?
I'm drinking bourbon.
Oh, it's a bourbon kind of night.
It's a
Oh
bourbon kind of,
no,
that's my thing.
no.
What's my zhuzh?
Well, me and my, I'm elementary. She's gonna
My
drink.
zhuzh. You say you what?
I have juice for real. No, a little wine because I don't drink.
We would not do that communion juice. That is not communion juice. No,
Ma'am, I
no.
don't drink. Like I'm not supposed to have no bourbon. I'm not supposed to have no Hennessy. First of all, it's thirsty. It's thirsty.
Hennessy will give you a headache.
See, I don't know nothing about it. So I'm just talking.
Well, I have to get some with some clear liquid that's frozen because I needed to kick in slowly. By the time it actually does kick in, that means I'm good and sleepy, and I
Oh
got to worry
goodness.
about nothing. So it helps me put to sleep. So that's what I'm good. Relax me, calm me. Like my doggy, you see how my doggy, she's chilling on the picture. That's how I want to be, chilling on the picture.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think anybody will. I can't say that. Everybody wants to turn up when they drink. But I think a lot of people, I mean, most people when they drink it is to relax, to chill. That's one of the reasons why I drink bourbon. I love bourbon. Um, yeah, I don't want to go on my little rant about bourbon, but
You a liquor snob. Be a little
yeah.
snob.
Well, and
Bourbon
I've
Brown.
noticed how when people get older, a glass of wine or something to drink actually is soothing. And it's not like they're alcoholic or anything, but sometimes it just soothes them for the night, which I think is fine, you know,
Right.
especially like my child. Calling my name 55 million times. After at work, they didn't call me 55 million times. I swear I'm gonna change my name. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna change my name to where I don't have to answer. And I'm just gonna look crazy like, hmm,
Are you,
hmm.
so you're not gonna tell nobody your name? You just
I
gonna
should
change?
I'm just gonna change it. Just gonna change it.
Okay, I'm listen.
You know, I can be Maria, I can be Chantel, I can be Keita,
Oh,
I can even be Patrice. What?
okay. No ma'am.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
It's
No.
only one me. It's only one me. No ma'am. No ma'am. Let me tag some folks in this.
So
Yes.
I have shared the link with you guys. It's been a minute since we've done this live thing, and so
I
um,
know, with life and the new year and, with COVID, everybody is skeptical about the vaccine coming into the new year. How is economic? How are we going to be as a country? Are we going to do the same? Is it going to be the same effect as last year? And we're still finna be in April and we're still wearing masks. We're still, protecting, even though the governor lift the order. But I still always say protect yourself, until it the
well,
CDC says something.
so the governor in Texas did this state order. Y'all are just y'all went from a snowstorm to
Yes.
snowmageddon to
Put us right in the middle of the Hunger Games. Just
I
right.
know, right?
get
It's
out there and get it.
get it all out there.
Were y'all impacted? I know we text, during that time, and my mom was, um, ended up getting sick during that time or whatever. But were you guys impacted heavily, or
From the winter storm stuff.
from the winter storm?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't. I'm not even gonna lie. These lights was out. We were we were okay because we still had water. We had lights sometimes.
Mm.
But we just kind of got into a routine. Like every time the lights went out, we did this. When the lights came on, we scrambled and did this. But it wasn't as bad as like some other people. So I can't complain.
Yeah, see, I got it bad. That Monday morning by 3 o'clock in the morning, I heard the electricity went out. And so I didn't have electricity until Saturday.
Mhm.
So in the freezing cold, I'm thinking like, okay, electricity is gonna pop back on this and this because that's what they said. So it was like after Tuesday night, I was like, I gotta get my child somewhere. So I didn't have no electricity, nothing, and it was crazy because by the time electricity did come on, it only got in some of the buildings.
Mhm.
And the bad part for me was I had just went grocery shopping. And so all my food was gone, and trying to be at work because the position that I am, I have to be at work. So, being there 12, 13 hours because we're short staffed, things like that, I was tired. So yeah, I mean, I got impacted. I would say, at a medium level compared to others that I know. It's still to this day, a lot of people homes have been affected. Some apartment complexes are telling people they have to get out because there's so much damage that they have to move out. And it's like, and they're giving them 30 days to move out. So,
but if they didn't have what they needed, I wouldn't want to stay someplace 30 days, longer than 30 days. And if y'all ain't got the adequate facilities and stuff like that, it just boggles my mind. And so, I work in the electric industry. I work in the utilities. And so, for what I do professionally, we are impacted in a great way with storm, because that's, we do most of our work. But it baffled us and so many other of my coworkers and our teammates about how that happened in Texas. Like, the grid, and those
it was a shock to all of us. We didn't expect for it to be that long. That was the thing. We normally get snow. It lasts 2 or 3 days, and then we're back to normal. Like, this was a whole week, basically almost 2 weeks in certain areas. But still.
Before we really go into that, I want to ask you this. What was the most memorable moment or funniest moment? Because I know we hear about the bad part, but what was like the most funniest or memorable moment for you guys during the storm?
My child got his first incident of snow. He got to the last step, start slide, and was like, "Yay! I got snow! I got snow!" I'm like, "No, mommy, I'm fine. Let me lay in the snow." I'm like, "Oh, okay. What? It's already cold. We ain't got no heat. Just lay in the snow then. Just do that then." I got a boy.
Crazy.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. My child. Okay, so we all know 2020 was a bust.
Crazy.
So like, I hadn't bought him like a coat because we don't go anywhere, and then it's Texas, so he saw the snow. This poor child, he went in there and pieced him together a little snowsuit. Found him some long sleeves. I sound like a bad mother. It was funny. Some long sleeves over here, some like sweatpants over there. He was gonna get outside. He was all bundled up and he had on 2-3 sweatshirts, and he was just like, "Can I go outside?" Go forth. He came in quick.
I was a little jealous because one of the reasons I moved to the East Coast initially was because I wanted to see snow. Because I never forget when I saw snow for the first time, I just was like, "Ooh," not so. There's snow in Texas,
right?
Yes,
snow.
There's snow in the East Coast. Yes.
Yeah, I was in Snowmageddon of DC, and I think somebody just posted it's gonna snow sometime this week or whatever. I think up north or whatever. Weather's doing its own thing, but to that point, I was one of those people that just love snow. I remember driving in, so I love snow, and so I forget. So my mom was in the hospital during this time. She was rushed to the hospital, and it was not. It's looking back on it, the conversation with my sisters is funny, but in that moment, it wasn't. Nobody get to her at the hospital because none of them have driven in the snow. None of my siblings have driven. They've driven in the dust that y'all get, but
He said the dust. Like he's not from
You
here.
know, but I mean, but he right.
You know, I mean, it's the dust. So it's like, and I'm like, ooh, you know, I'm a 4x4, so I'm like, you know, let's play in the snow.
Right.
But
It's easy breezy for you.
yeah, so it's crazy, but I'm glad you guys made it out alive and, you know, and safely, and prayers go out to those that are still impacted by it and they were impacted by it. But yeah. Well, it's been such a while, April. Tonight, let's get into it. Let's get into this thing.
Of course. You know, we have been getting messages and people have been asking, you know, when is the next episode, because they have loved our shows that we have done. We have all done phenomenal in all the shows we have done in the past. So thank you to my host, you know, and of course Jason Day in the background. But you know, it's time for us to get back into it. So you know, we hear on social media about, you know, relationships. You see so many self-life coaches, relationship experts, things like that. And of course, you know, the big one is about Derek Jackson, but we're not going to talk about that. Oh, no. No, we're not going to touch base into that.
Well, how do y'all feel about that? Like, I know you don't want to talk about it. How do y'all feel about that? Like,
either you or you, they will want to do. How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
But I think you need to tag in this one first before I get into it. I need you to tag in this first.
I feel like Omarion, you know, I don't feel no kind of ways, you know, about him. Now, because to be honest, like as a woman, he always came off like I'm trying to tell you this and you're gonna listen to me. And don't get me wrong, he had valid points. I feel like he had an audience for a reason. There are a lot of women who want to talk to men about men, but there's this code that you don't talk about men to women or something.
Yeah.
And so I think he gained an audience because he was actually talking about men to women who were trying to find some type of answers. Now, do I think that all the answers were valid? No. Do I think that he made points? Yes. I mean, you throw a dart in the dark, you're going to hit something at some point. But
for someone.
Overall, like as far as his wife, like I didn't even watch the video. Okay, let's go there. I didn't watch the videos. I didn't watch the lives. You know how it comes up on your feed and it plays, but you can't hear it unless you click on it. So just from seeing like little clips, I was like, why is he holding her hand so hard? And why is she looking like
gripping her?
Sir, can you unhand me? And I was just like, okay, something's not right. Now,
I mean, it seems like you just want to say blink if you need assistance, blink if you want me to call somebody.
I was just like, he literally picked her up out of her little bed of depression and sat her next to him and was like, we gonna talk about how I'm tripping. No.
It was for me. I've seen a couple of his videos and I've seen some of the things he said, and I thought that, okay, this guy's interesting, but I just felt like he, for me, promoted a lot of toxic masculinity. You know, and I'm just in this space, I guess, call it my journey to 40 or whatever. I'm in this space where I don't understand when people have this. We find ourselves supporting and liking these people that bash other groups or other things, you know. And I just think that he did too much. For me, he did too much male bashing. It was like, and it was like he was projecting who he really was and what's happening in his life. Like, you know, don't be no stupid woman, and you know, not calling his wife stupid or whatever the case may be. But it was weird.
It was like he basically knew what he was talking about because he was doing the things that he was telling women to watch out for.
It was
of course, on the outside looking in, you don't know this until it hits the fan. But
I wondered, did his wife listen to the videos? Was it, because I mean, was she kind of like,
he's everywhere
listening to him, like in the sense of, you so right? Like, did you like, wait a minute?
Well, and so that's the underlining thing, because after the video of them two, she posted at least one or two videos. I've only seen one, but I've heard she posted one or two more videos solo talking about, she more introduces herself as a child of God. She introduces herself as the wife of God, and we're in this marriage and there's things, this and this or whatever. I never saw any sincere or hurt from her. Now, whether she was hiding it or she didn't want to display it to the public, which is fine. I mean, that's her choice. In my opinion, even before she even went solo, I wouldn't feel comfortable getting on camera after you announce that you have done this. I mean, that's just something I just would not feel comfortable, because for right now, you are a social media star somewhat. You have books, you have fame, this and this or whatever. So it's already the hurt that social media knows about this. Now you have me on camera live in a position to where I feel like I'm obligated to be by your side. I'm not obligated to be hurt. I'm not obligated to be.
I think that the message would have came over different had she looked like she wanted to be there. Meaning, I get it that he's the one in the spotlight and we don't know who she is. And to be honest, like, people are like, oh, we didn't even know he was married. We didn't have to know he was married. That wasn't our business. But like, had she looked like she was literally there to stand by him, that they have already worked this out, that they've already moved on in their marriage from those transgressions, then it would look different. But it looked as if it was a lot of slick talk from him.
It looked like it was
third person, and
it looked like
was kind of like, you're going to sit here with me. Yeah, you're going to sit here with me, and we're gonna project this unit. But she didn't have the energy.
And what I felt from it is that he was trying to protect his brand. And the reason why I say that is because after he shot that video, he did another video, him in the car, side by side, showing the previous video, talking in third person. Kevin on stage made a video about that, and he hit the point so valid. He said, if y'all don't understand what this person is doing, he is showing y'all that he is trying to display his brand. That's basically what he's doing. He's still trying to promote his brand. He's still trying to make sure he has business. So if he's speaking in third person about this, it's kind of whatever his viewers is, to show that, okay, well, maybe he really was sincere. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe this and this. I'm like, this is all a hoax to me. I'm like, because just like what Ryan said, on his videos, if you've ever watched him, he honestly man bash men. Now, don't get me wrong. Just like what Patrice said, some of his points is valid, but if you listen to the context of what he's saying,
none of that.
It's just like
what Sam was valid. That man needs a therapist. And let me tell you something.
No, she's not saying in this video with the wife.
No, not in this video. In previous video. In previous video.
From his previous videos, he wasn't necessarily. I don't think he was necessarily valid as much as he needs a therapist. Like, some of that stuff that you're working through, like, what is your objective to work through that? It's kind of like, he reminded me of that. Thinking about that video, it was like how we felt for 4 years with 45 been in office.
Holding us hostage.
Boy,
I mean, it's crazy. It's just the mitigated gall that, I'm just trying to figure out, like, bruh, you doing all this and like your wife just, y'all need to.
But he didn't do any protection. Like, as a husband, that was his like one to me. I don't know what their relationship is about, but I feel like in that moment you should have been about more of protecting her than bringing her to the forefront. Because again, we didn't have to know that you were married. That's none of our business. Like, you can give advice to people, and we don't have to know your personal. Yeah, we don't have to know your personal stuff. But in that moment, that was for you to, because they're saying that this happened a long time ago, like months ago.
So instead of protecting your family in your home, in your marriage, That's what men are supposed to do. You were protecting your brand.
Period.
Basically.
That's
That's really what he was doing, because he has commented or made more videos after that video, and so has she. So, and I understand as a wife you are to stand by your man's side, but she is put in the context of the Bible aspect. That's how she's put
Well,
it.
could it be that when you think about, like, let's think about the past 4 years
Okay.
with number 45 and our former first lady, like she, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they were trending. You know, people gave them. They entertained it. They, you know, like I watched this Saturday Night Live skit, and they talked about, like, what if Trump didn't win? It was one of the elections. What if Trump didn't win? You know, the people that are used to being traumatized by Trump's, you know, you're addicted to Trump's stupidity, that now, you know, it's like he's no longer the trending topic. Like, we're having, like, what are we going to think about now? What are we going to talk about now? You know? And so I say to say that, you know, I think, I think, what if they played this? What if this was a whole, you know, because you're hearing about certain relationships where people are open and they're what they call it polyamorous, where people are open and having these, you know, these open situations, or
I don't remember. I'm brand new. I don't know nothing about that.
People change. Like, people are open to some, you know, I mean, people is, you know, one of the things I had to realize about my own trauma in relationships is I am a willing participant when I am aware.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a willing participant when you are aware of something. And that is, it's some MF out there named Potential that will get you caught up. Don't be awful, Potential. Because Potential, you know, I mean, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
He couldn't hide it no longer. Wait a minute. Step on your bourbon right quick. Then come on, just join me to the table. Come on.
What we gonna talk about? What we talking about?
Okay.
Well, I mean, but it goes back into, it's just like, how do you view relationships now after 35 compared to when you're in your 20s? So did it mold you into a better person? Just like what Ryan said, is your potential at a higher status now that you are willing to get more potential than if he ain't got all this potential that I need, then, oh, you got to go? Which ones was it? Did you have higher potential in your early 20s than now, or is it the reverse? You know, how is relationships, your thought process, different from back in your 20s to now? And he sips again.
I'm gonna let Patricia go first. You don't want mine.
Why me? How you know? I started first last night.
So for me, wow. When I think about 20s and you know, before 35, I was a naive son of a gun. Like, naive. I was so naive.
That you admit it.
I was so naive. I thought I was straight.
Oh. Okay.
You know, and so, which was, you know, let's just get that on the table. You know, I've been married twice. You know, I've been married to a man and to a woman, and so I've got a vast knowledge of what life is like between 35 then. I think the biggest thing is that, like Let said earlier about being potential. Potential is beautiful. It's a wonderful. It's like fantasy. It's like the fairy tales, you know. And one of the most damnedest things I think we do to society, or we do to our children. I don't have children, so let me say not our children. To children is we give them the sense of comfort that there's this fairy tale that exists.
Mm-hmm.
And when I feel like in your 30s is when you really realize fairy tales don't really exist. Santa Claus ain't real, boo. You know, because in my 20s, it was all about what's your
Yeah,
favorite.
I can hear you.
I'm sorry.
Uncle
Oh my
Ryan.
God, nephew. That's okay. Tell Bryce we got him. Tell Bryce we got him. Ain't you got him?
He can't hear. He can't hear it.
I know,
But-
and Christy gone because he sure would have came crying out. What did he say, mommy? Santa Claus is coming? No, mommy.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's like, you know, you have this fantasy of what your forever person looks like, and so when you're dating people, you're in this space of what's your favorite color? I miss your voice. What do you like? Tell me all the good things about you. Now, at almost 40, the question is, what are your flaws? No. Who are you really?
I don't want you to tell me your flaws. I just want to. I want you to talk, and I'm gonna sit back and watch and listen.
I want to know if you're aware of your own flaws. That's what I'm looking for. Like, are you aware of your low emotional intelligence? Are you aware of
He
your
said low emotional intelligence?
Girl,
Okay.
now you know it's plenty of men out here walking who have no emotional intelligence.
Clue.
And
No
but that's a condition thing. That's a
Yeah.
why you crying?
Yeah,
Stop that
that's
crying. You a boy. Boys don't cry. Like let that man cry. I gotta deal with him, and he's not gonna cry over here, and it's gonna get on my nerves, and we're not gonna be able to talk, and we're not gonna be able to move forward. No, I need whoever I am with to be able to express his emotions and be okay with that. Period. And that's hard to find.
And when you have a person like me who demeanor can come off raw as ever, you know, once it start progressing, it's like, okay, let's start getting into the meat of the relationship. You know, then I ask, you know, what are your fears? What are you scared of? What is this? And sometimes men will open up and sometimes they won't, because they're not comfortable, just like what Patrice says. But that's a condition issue. You should be able to, whoever, talk about your fears, talk about what's going on, this and this or whatever, because it'll make you comfortable and make the other person aware of it so they won't put you in that type of situation.
But
you know,
vulnerability.
But
That's vulnerability.
And that's true, but we're hearing about men who will tell you that they've tried that.
Wait, did you see her face though? We said that
we're hearing about men who say they have tried that. They've tried to open up, but then as soon as y'all get into a fight with them, y'all throwing it in their face. Because Patrice don't think that I ain't got time for it. And I don't want you throwing my stuff in my face like that. If I'm vulnerable with you, that's a gift. Because I'm not vulnerable with everybody.
And here's the other thing is that, like you just said, if I become vulnerable with you and tell you, you know, are you intentionally listening to hear me? Or are you still looking at my potential? Because I've been in relationships where I've said my flaws, and then, you know, they're so like cake glazed over, and I've been in relationships. I've been so glazed over that when they begin to show them real selves, they look at me like, well, I told you this is who I am. And, you know, you're like, did you really hear who they really are? So when you ask, the question I'm asking is that, you know, we're asking people to be vulnerable or to tell us who they are and tell us the triggers and all this other stuff. But are we being vulnerable and present enough and engaged enough to really hear what they're saying?
Not, I can speak for me. Not all the
time. Issues and the daddy issues.
No, not. I can speak for me, even past and present. In the past, no, I wasn't. I can hear you, but I was not listening. It was not registering in me. So the present now, I listen. But, and to piggyback off what Patrice was saying, is that you, as women, I can speak as women, you cannot throw that in a man's face. You cannot destroy his flaws back in his face because you're angry. I mean, that's not healthy. So if because you wouldn't want him to do that same thing, with anything. If
I don't think it's just a man, it's a man or a woman. Like, you can't just throw that into anybody's face. Like,
but we're hearing more of it from men than women. I don't know.
I hear it more from men that women do that. That's what women do. And I have experienced, not experienced, but I have heard more women talk about, girl, I was mad and I told him his mama wasn't nothing, and I told him his left toe still ain't gonna be right, and I said this and this and this whatever, and he can't hug this. I mean, they go in and out, but I'm like, okay, well, if you knew all of this, why are you getting mad about it? Why is you letting that fester? That's not something that you do. You can't.
That's a toxic thing on her part
that
too.
You have. It's a condition that you're not fully accepting. You're just like what we had talked about, Ryan. You're allowing, but you haven't accepted. That's the thing, and we get you confused.
I think there's an acceptance and there's an allowance. There is just, I'm comfortable with it. It's just like, some people enjoy abusive relationships. They like toxic relationships. If you're not arguing, if you're not being bashed upside your head, or whatever the case may be, and no disrespect to anybody that chooses, that's what you choose in life. I am supporting you. I'm rocking with you for life in the sense of that's your choice. But you can't mistreat me and mishandle me, and we're going to be good. Now, that may work over there for somebody else. Don't work here for none of us. But some people, and that's their comfort level.
But and some people don't know that's their comfort level.
Yeah.
As far as not the abuse part, but I mean, not the physical abuse part, but just the arguments.
Yeah.
Arguing is healthy. Yeah.
No.
But we're not going to argue all the time.
All the time.
Because there are going to be disagreements, and then the way you argue makes a difference. Like, we're going to disagree. We can't say we can, we might. No, there will be disagreements. Like, because I can have a friend and we're going to have a disagreement, but how are you handling it? Like, are you cussing me out? Are you bad mouthing me? Like, are you present in this argument? Because that's one thing about me. Like, I know we're going to have an argument, but when I care about you, I'm going to take care in everything that I do. Even if I'm mad at you, I'm still going to take care inside of that argument to not talk to you disrespectfully, to not go off on you, to not, I mean, not go off. I might go off, but I'm saying not cuss you out.
But I think, but that's the thing, is that we allow each other to be genuinely ourselves, authentically ourselves.
You should.
It's, if you're extra, you're just extra. Like, that's just like, that's one of the things I love about our conversations. And we know Patrice and April since we've been knowing each other, which is way back in the day, like back in the day. Like, we've known each other like over 20 years. But we all know April's a bully.
Well, she thinks she is.
People telling me that. I have heard that all my life, and I do not understand how was I a bully. I believe
you want a bully to me, because
I don't understand how you can even ask that question, April. Go. Let's break down that question.
Yes, please.
You say what?
Can you give me examples that I demonstrate that I was a bully in high school?
April, you crazy. You used to yell at people. You used to talk to people crazy. Where the people at? Y'all not even. Damn.
Please, you know what? Whoever's on the live, how about this? Who's ever on the live, please share your experience of one crazy event that you can remember about me. Let's see how long this goes, because I sure want to
tag some people.
Listen, tag, comment. Please tell a story of when you experienced April's bullying. Like,
because she's
classroom,
2 foot tall. She run around like she was a pit bull in high school.
And I was 5'3", act like I was the
and just teachers, April, like teachers would be like, oh, This April master class.
So let me tell you. So just to even bounce off of that. So freshman year, I think that was my worst. Freshman year, we had choir class. I got kicked out of choir class and got put in school suspension because I just was a ruckus. So I had 2 lunches on B days. And it was terrible. They were just like, and so Mr. Marshall kept saying, "What am I gonna do with you?" I was like, "I don't know what we gonna do with me." I'm like, "I don't know either." He said, "Well, can you just shut up? Can you shut up? I can't shut up, so you can't shut up." So he's like, "I'm just gonna put you in school suspension." You know, in school suspension, you have to be quiet. You know how hard that was for me to do for a whole hour? I was like, I wanted to break free so bad, and I had to do that for a semester. That was so hard for me. But so let me tell you this though. I can see how I was a bully, but let me say this.
She sees it now.
It's
But
recorded.
But I saw it in a different light though. I remember taking up for people who did not have a voice. I did not like people who picked on the little people who did not talk, who could not say anything back. So that's a lot of times I got into it with those type of people as well. Cause I'm like, well, why is you picking on her? I'm like, is you talking about her clothes? I'm like, okay, well, what's wrong with you? Look at your face.
Here's the real question. How long did you let that bleed into your relationship in your early
Oh my
20s?
God, till how I'm about to be 40 this year. So I didn't start changing that till about what, 38? Yeah, 38. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I mean, I was so quick. let me take a drink before I.
Ryan's on. Ooh.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a strawberry daiquiri with an extra shot of gin. But I took it.
You are almost 40.
I am. I took that with me because I felt that if you had one flaw, you was gone. If you didn't remember my birthday, you was gone. If you didn't remember my color, you was gone. If you didn't call me back and this, oh, block. It was so bad my block list was longer than my contacts. So
but Ryan say you had that fairy tale floating. The man is gonna forget something.
I had that fairy tale that I felt that somebody was going to change the way I was until so many events had happened in my life to where, so I can say before I had my surgery, I was in a relationship for 2 years and he was cheating on me within one of those years and ended up being engaged to that person. Okay,
whoa.
T.
I need to unpack this thing. You can't just throw T out there like that. Like back that up. You were in a relationship. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I was in a relationship for 2 years. That second year, we was in a relationship. He was in a relationship with somebody a year. So, and he proposed to her. She ended up calling me, telling me all about the business. And I was like, okay, well, congratulations to you. It is what it is. So this happened in September. My symptoms started in March of next year. So from March on, I was dealing with health issues. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, I'm too cute. I'm too funny. I'm this. He gonna call. He gonna do this. Never did. Never budged anything. So after my surgery and everything, I had to realize I can't expect someone to change my mind of how I view relationships. I have to change my mind myself because this is not working out. I've been down this road for too long. It's not working out. I have to change. I have to quit being so judgmental. I have to start giving people chances. I have to not quit off the bat like, okay, you cheating. Oh, okay. You what? Okay. Because I mean, I was, yeah.
But it's okay for the cheating to be a hard stop. I mean, it's okay.
I was so bad. Let me tell you how
cheating though. What's your definition of cheating?
My definition of cheating?
You and Patrice, yeah. What is your definition of cheating?
Okay, I'm not gonna cuss on here, but when you have a whole nother relationship with somebody else that they think they the main chick, So you may have two main chicks. So, but
No,
in
somebody
reality,
gonna be
once
the
y'all gonna,
side.
yeah, somebody got to be the side. Now, it's okay. Now, here's the thing. Now, if you know you the side chick and you trying to be the main chick, that's not gonna happen. So let me tell you, let me just put that out there right now. If you the side chick, I'm telling you, you the side chick. You're not finna be the main chick. I'm a witness to that. Okay. You gotta just let that go. Let it go. Focus on trying to be the main chick. If he wants you to be the side chick, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Somebody feelings gonna
What you
get
say,
hurt.
don't
And
do it.
yeah, don't do it. Sometimes it may be your feelings, so don't do it. So then you start acting crazy. So this is just word of advice. Don't be the side chick knowingly. Now, if you didn't know, that's understandable. That's
These sound like
understandable.
confessions.
It
Listen,
is. It is.
but
It is.
some people enjoy being a side piece.
I did for a moment. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I did enjoy it for a moment because you know why? At that point in time, I was like, I don't want to deal with no relationship. I ain't got time for all that hugging and I got to call you good night. I got to tell you I miss you. I'm thinking about you. I get what I want to roll out. You gonna buy me lunch? Oh, okay, come on, let's go. You gonna do that? Oh, okay, let's go. I had no ties. But then it got to a point to where he started catching feelings. I was like, whoa, wait,
That
wait. I was like, wait. Okay, no, we got to do this, So I was just like, and then I had to realize but so when I was doing that, I was avoiding avoidance. I was avoiding the fact that I felt like that I could never be loved. I could never be in a relationship. So I felt like being the side chick was okay, that it was acceptable until I actually experienced it. And I was like, no, I'm still feeling hurt. I'm still feeling, this and this. And I had to let that go. So, but then once again, I still have my little evil ways. I still did that. But, eh, eh. but I'm learning to accept
all,
feeling.
it's all turned from you being a bully. You know.
Right.
Hey, Carolyn Jackson.
Hey, Carolyn.
Hey, Carly. Girl, that you get them high five because I ain't never seen a side chick that came the main chick. Now, if they
That's why
did,
I
girl,
said they wiping some of these side chicks.
girl, I don't know how long they stay married.
We ain't got on that part.
Now, okay, now Ryan, what was your question about me being a bully? What is this? What?
You have clarified and answered that. You have. And we love you for that. But the point that I was making, no, back to the statement. The question was like, if you know what a person is, if you know that they're bullied, if you know that, example, y'all know I'm gonna be late.
Yes, all the time. Yes,
I will be late. That's just, and I've had to learn to accept that within myself, And sometimes it's, I don't know if it's my ADHD or my anxiety fighting, whatever it is, I'll be late. And so, if you're going to be in my space, in my life, if you get in your feelings because I was late, not saying that this is acceptable or that I'm not working on it or I'm not aware or that life doesn't happen, because I'm I'm dramatic. Y'all know I'm extra. I'm dramatic. I have a perfectionist part of me. I'm a Virgo and all that. And so with all of that, if you're in my space and you're mad, like, why?
Look,
Because you understand what I'm saying? Like
you know it. You come from up jump. You know that I'm going to be late. And I tell people like I ain't never on time. My family had to lie to me to get me to be on time. They'll tell me it be there at 7:00 and it actually starts at 8. And by the time I get there at 7:55, I'm like, what? Oh, it ain't started yet. What the devil? So, but I mean, I let that be known. So I do. But and if you one of the ones that like to be on time, I'm like, we could drive separate cars if that's the case, because I'm gonna be late. That's just how. Now I will try. I will try my best. Now I won't say I won't try. I will try, but
right.
certain circumstances happen.
So let's reel this back in because April deflected a minute ago. But I'm gonna let you off the hook, Ryan. What is a toxic trait that you had in your 20s that you believe you've resolved now that you're headed into your 40s? Because as much as people want to believe that they cannot be toxic, we all have them. And we may not have thought they were toxic at first, but then now that we're older and a little wiser, we look back and was like, that was me.
You see, I took a long. I took a long drink on that one because I'm not ready for that question.
So the traits that I have that I know I have, and I'm dealing with on a daily basis is I'm a people pleaser. So I will tell you what you want to hear. I got married to a woman at the age of 23, and I knew I liked men at 17, 16, 18. But because I didn't want to disappoint, and I felt like I needed to perform, I had to present myself, and that's one of the reasons why I tell people that, especially mothers of boys, don't make your son feel like he got to be the protector of the man in the house. Take that title off of him. That responsibility to please everybody. And I struggle with that on a daily basis. People pleasing. And so that's a toxic trait that I know that I've had, and that, in my 40s is kind of like, and part of that is just, how do you stop that? It's just setting boundaries for me.
Well, with that, since you acknowledge your people pleaser, do you feel like do you please yourself? Or you appreciate yourself?
That's the space of the whole boundaries thing. Because when we people please, we think about these people that just can't say no. And it's not just about not saying no. It's about you don't want to disappoint or you don't want to hurt. You want to you want to fulfill everything. So it's kind of like I can overcommit. So I'm the person that, I'm late. I'm late to a meeting because I had to go pick up the dry cleaner. I had to cook the food. I had to say this, versus saying I need to set boundaries that if I need to drive X, Y, and Z, I can't tell you that I'm going to commit to ABC.
Right.
And so that's what I had to learn about, in that commitment thing, because people pleasers don't intentionally, and a lot of people don't acknowledge that they're people pleasers. They don't intentionally set out to hurt people. It's just you take on too much.
Mm-hmm.
You taking on so much, and the reality is, it's like, it's that space of, you find yourself broke because you're trying to help pay for everybody else, because you're trying to take care of everybody else. But that one thought of sweep around your own front door before you sweep around mine is so crucial. And that is, if I had known that in my 20s and dating, really what put myself first, I would be a total different person. But I'm grateful for the journey I had.
The journey of it.
Yeah, and see, I'm the opposite. I am quick to tell you no, without a hesitation, without anything. Back then, I didn't care what you thought. I didn't care about your feelings. If it was not about me and how it's gonna benefit me, yeah, okay, you got to go. So, and now I'm like, okay, it's not all about me. It's about, how, if we're going to be in a relationship, how we're going to do this together. How do we benefit together? Some people, I think the toxic thing that I had back then was I did not open up. I will shut down quick, fast, and a hurry on you. If you holler talking about something, you love me, you like me, okay. So what we're gonna do today? Did you not just hear what I said? Yes, I did. I heard what you said. You said you like me and all this stuff. Yes, I heard you. So how do you feel? Okay. I mean, you cool and all. You still right here, right? You still in my presence. So what we're gonna do today? And I will continue on until that person just left.
April's
and so
nigga, you have straight nigga, like, and I'm not sorry. I said what I said. Like straight nigga, straight thug, thug qualities. Like,
I did. I mean, it was. I mean, people. I mean, my family tell me like, you should have been a boy. I don't know what happened. Why you a girl? You should have been a boy for real. But and I mean, I guess this is growing up with my cousins now. They just taught me, but I actually had to learn how to be vulnerable. But so, and let me say this. So when I learned how to be vulnerable and I got hurt, I shut down because I felt like, well, what's the purpose of being vulnerable for? If they're gonna end up doing me wrong, this and this. It took me maybe last year to accept that I can't change what people do. What people actions and their actions is their actions. I can't base my life off their action because I was vulnerable and they still hurt me. I can't do that because it's not fair to the next person who may be the one. So I can't base my off that. I have to learn to accept that, okay, this person hurt me. This person ain't good enough for me. This person ain't fitting this or whatever. So now it's a better opportunity for the next person. So I cannot be vulnerable. I mean, I can be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to open up. Now, do I still kind of shut down a little bit? Yeah, I do. But I'm not all the time. So I would say, like back then, I shut down like at 100%. Right now, I'm like at 35. So, but I haven't hit 40 yet. So I'm still in the leeway, the race. So
Girl, you can go straight into 50 acting the same.
35% trusting. Yes, I'll go with that.
For me, it's a little bit of okay. The thing that I'm still working on is I allow people to stay longer than they deserve. So, and I think it kind of goes into what you were saying, Ryan, that potential, and then and this is twofold. So first, I allow people to stay longer than they deserve. And then when I realized, oh yeah, you should have been gone. I might walk by you game like I ain't never met you. Okay. And that's not good. That's not good either. I'm either over here. I'm never lukewarm with anything that I do anyway. So, but I'm working on that. I'm not saying that I should be lukewarm, but I know that I don't need to be so dramatic in my response to it. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah. I would meet people and they would be good to me, good for me in that moment. And then I would start seeing those things where that's a red flag. That's not good. Or I know that you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. Or I know that you're saying things that aren't necessarily true. I know that, you'll know these things, but I will, because I care about them so much, I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, allow them to be human, allow myself to, I didn't always give everybody a second chance either. Like I would be like, I don't like that. Bye. But I don't like that.
You allow others to be human. So when you allow others to be human, do you allow yourself to be human?
Yes.
Okay.
And I say that to people. You have to allow me. I am going to mess up. I am going to do something wrong. Like I'm gonna say something to you that you feel that is disrespectful. And I feel like if you care about me enough and we care about each other, you should be like, I don't like that. And I'm like, noted. Noted.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's once you've been in a relationship for a while, when you start to get to know somebody, it's like, do not disrespect me by saying certain trigger words or certain things.
What you mean? It's been a while. No, you're supposed to set them boundaries at the beginning.
See, and I don't. Not in the beginning. Right. Because I don't know.
How do y'all set boundaries in the beginning?
I don't. Because, and the reason why I don't is because I don't know if this is even gonna make it towards a relationship. Let's even say that.
April, if you are my friend, you can't talk to me a certain way. If you're an associate, you cannot talk to me a certain way. I'm going to teach you in the beginning how to handle me. I want you to do the same.
No, Patrice. April has always been the bully, but Patrice has always been that. You are that.
Period.
He was not. Look, You're gonna go to Patrice's locker. You're gonna go with respect. You're gonna say something to Patrice. It's gonna be with respect.
But
Like,
it's not, and I don't mean it in a
it's
aggressive.
not a negative
Shut
way.
up! I don't mean it in an
Like,
aggressive way, but
you set the tone. Like,
I'm going to set the tone. Like I'm not, and I'm never going to ask you to
But
do
the thing-
anything that I'm not willing to do.
let me interject this. She'll set this. So Patrice is that like mean person that will then be like, you know, you want black. You know.
First of all, Ryan, you don't know me.
Yes, I can agree with that. Yes.
I am like for real. Like I am the sweetest, most giving, most whatever type of thug you'll ever meet. Okay.
All of that is
All of
always is.
all of it. All of it. Yeah, but that's why I feel like if you wait, like, okay, I've been talking to this guy for 4 months. Now let me tell you my trigger words. No.
Patrice want to know. So Patrice, you're the type of person that you want to know all that up front.
I want to know what up front. Like
Trigger.
I want, like if you don't want me to say certain things to you, then you deem them disrespectful. Why wait months to tell me that?
You.
I wouldn't say months. I wouldn't say months. I think for me it's like it's just all about conversation. That look at D.
That's my
you
sister.
know her, girl. You know your sister, girl. I think for me, it all starts off with a conversation. If I can just have a conversation with you on a intelligent level, then I'm more open into what Patrice is saying. You're starting to learn about me. Sometimes I feel that I can't even have a conversation with you because you're not on my level. Now, let's start to say I'm the smartest gene in the whole wide world because I have my moments to where, what you say? Oh, it don't click in. It's not clicking in. But we should be able to talk about certain things. So if I want to talk about the weather, you sit up here and say, what about it? What you mean, what about it? It's right. You just nonchalant. Like there's no your one word answer majority of the time. I can't get that. And so after that, I'm done. So you don't even have to worry about what's a trigger word for me because I done ended this whole conversation.
Girl.
That's me. That's me.
Hey,
So
that's not good.
Exactly. So
Goofy. April.
okay, well, you have a conversation with God and tell him why he keep giving me this one word, being this conversation.
But you'll give them one word and it's okay.
No, I don't. That's after the fact.
No.
That's after. It's after.
April, back
After.
up. Back up.
Okay. Remind me. Remind me.
Please pull them glasses up.
Remind me. Please remind me.
Wait a minute, y'all. So I want to address what Carolyn said. She was saying,
Thank you.
I didn't know what love was, so I used to hurt others before they hurt me because I experienced hurt so much in childhood. But it ran people that loved me and the ones I loved away. Man, we have either been that person or we have come across those people.
That is so true.
And Carolyn, girl, you deserve it, boo.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes.
You are enough. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve to put it out because everybody deserves to show everybody how much they love people. Because under everything, everybody wants to be loved. Let's start there. Everybody, I don't care. April crazy. She want to be loved. You heard her.
Yes.
But you deserve it, and you deserve to show people that, like they deserve to see that from you, like to see your heart. Girl, you enough, girl. I love you, girl.
I mean,
off of that, I just got to piggyback off of that. So we find ourselves so focused on what we don't want and what is unacceptable and intolerable that because we put that out in the atmosphere, you realize, if you notice, you're like, everybody, if you think about it just for a second, the past 2 people you've dated, they are everybody that you don't want to date.
The past 2
because you ain't dating them now, are you?
No.
Okay, so
No.
because we intentionally we put this out in the atmosphere. So whatever you subscribe to believe, whether it be God, the universe, the whatever you want to subscribe to believe in, because we put that out in the atmosphere, I think we get back what we put out. So we put what we don't want out,
but end up getting it back in return.
we end up getting it back in return.
See, I get it. But
Because-
one of my last ones.
Let me say something. Move your hand a bit, Patrice. Move your hand a bit. Move your hand to the left. To the left.
When you head back, Lou.
Move me to the right. To the right. I'm sorry, to the right. To the right. To the right.
Stop.
Those children that are behind you, when you go and you pour water into them, you say loving and wonderful things to them, don't you?
I do. Well,
Oh
I got
my
one
God.
of them that I talked to her with a little attitude because she got a little attitude. But that's
But it's still loving and wonderful, though. You talk to little attitude like, girl, you're gonna grow today, but I'm gonna just pull it because you little. Even with your children, and as a it's you speak that, and so I'm saying that to say that sometimes we attract who we really are. That's what I'm.
And that is so true. And that is true. And to what Caroline said is that I did that. I honestly, because I was hurted in the past by somebody, I did that energy off to the next person because I didn't want to get hurt again. I didn't want to get hurt first. I'd rather hurt you because in my mind, I was like, if you can handle the bad, you can handle the good. But you had to get to the bad first, through the bad first to understand the good. And then I had to realize that's not right. That's not how it is because people think that this is you. But in your mind, you like there's some good, but they just need to get to it. But in their mind, they're like, oh, this is how you are. It's nothing bad, this and this. So I had to think about like, I can't do off that energy. And what I did was I thought I was only doing a relationship, but I was doing it to people all around, family, friends, everybody, until it actually clicked in like, what is wrong with you? Why is you like this? And then I was like, you know what? I don't know why. And then it realized to me, I had not accepted my hurt. I had not freed myself from the hurt. So I had to accept that I got hurt. I accepted that I had to move on and I had to be okay with that and to be able to feel like somebody's gonna love me one day, but I'm good with that. So trust and believe. I understood that, and that just happens. It does, but it just like what you say, it in time it grows. There's no time frame for anything. We can't say that it's going to change within a year or two. No, your time is your time. Just like God blesses people in different ways, different times, different eras or whatever, he's going to bless you in your time and you're going to wake up in your time. That doesn't, and just like with the fairy tale, what Ryan was saying, we think we're going to get married by the time we're in our 20s or before 30, this and this. I still ain't got no ring on my finger. And it is what it is. If I'm 50 and if I get a ring, still going to be down the aisle. Maybe, I don't know.
Go for it. I said to myself, I'll never forget, I said to some friends, like I was 37, I think 30, almost 38, 39. I was like, listen, I'm going to be married by 40. I'm going to be da-da-da-da.
Well, you did get married.
Second, but divorced. Yeah. But the thing is, like, we've got to, the point I'm making is that you've got to, like, speak that out. Like, I'm going to be in a healthy, wholesome relationship by such and such. I'm going to be, how much time do we spend projecting what we want versus how much time do we spend projecting what we don't want?
Look at this one. Yes, Patrice.
So, listen. Because, like, I get it. Like, you put out there what you want, which I believe I do. I try my best, put out there what I want. But I feel like I didn't get discouraged, but I think that people will, because if you set out to say, okay, I need to make sure that I'm being open to love, or just the prospect of a relationship, period. Or I need to change this about myself or work on these things about myself. And then you find yourself working on those things with the wrong people.
Potential.
But in my last relationship, it wasn't potential. My relationship, it was I saw things that I didn't quite like. But what it is in my mind, I was like, but Patrice, you can't do that. You got to let them be, don't be the one that said, I don't like this, so I'm running. So with that person, I was just like, are you running, Patrice? Or is that something that you need, you know what I'm saying, that you need to, is that something that you need to be patient with, or are you trying to run? And I caught myself doing that, thinking that I was, well, maybe, I don't like the way he said that. And of course, just because someone says something, you don't just dot the door. But like, I had to kind of tell myself, handle it differently, do this and that. But again, I allowed him. There were things that he had said or done that I should have been like, you should have got the old me. You should have got the old me, because I've allowed you to stay. And not that the relationship was terrible, or it was good when it was good, but then when it hit the fan, it hit the fan. But it was just like, once it hit the fan and I had time to look back on things, it was just like, I probably should have left you alone right about here. And so I let people stay longer than they should.
So I think that's so powerful. And I also want to piggyback and say this. It's not just about letting people stay. It's just acknowledging your place in the world. Mm-hmm. And so in acknowledging the place in the world, in the sense of, if I date you and I decide, because I'm bougie is what y'all call me and what people say, and I lean into that. I'm learning to lean into that. If I upgraded you to a certain type of whiskey, I want you to introduce your future boyfriend, husband, whatever, to that whiskey. Because I've given you something. I've given you a gift to upgrade your life. I'm like Beyonce, upgrade you. I'm just saying, that's probably the toxic trait, because I'm trying to upgrade everybody. But
I ain't never trying to upgrade me, Ryan. Where my upgrade check or something.
So I'll be there. I'll be there tomorrow, y'all. I'll be there at 8:00 tomorrow.
Okay.
The whole month of April. We can do things, but I just realized, like, that's my gift into the world. Like, so my mom has, and this may turn. My mom has 5 sisters. She has 5 sisters. She has six brothers. So it's 12 of them. And after this scare with my mom and everything like that, my youngest aunt is 65.
Wow. That's a blessing.
Is 78.
Blessing.
And I've been blessed. God has blessed me. And so one of my aunts, she just turned 75. And like, this aunt is like, she is that girl. You want some act right in the family? Call her. So Aunt Lily, I can call your name out because you that girl. But she had her 70th birthday party. I showed up, whatever, and I made it a point to spoil my aunts, because I realized I've been spoiling people in my life that didn't leave the impact of who I am in my life. I've been trying to like lead a legacy, but never appreciating who I am. And if it wasn't for my aunts and my mother, I wouldn't be who I am. Right. So, I wrote these little cards to say, here's lunch on me. I'm in this space now where I'm starting to appreciate me. And so, and part of appreciating me is appreciating all the parts of me that I didn't acknowledge that existed. And that was the parts of my aunts you know, you guys, just all the parts of me that I felt like was in my mind. I told myself, and sometimes we tell ourselves these stories in our mind that really aren't true. Like,
Yeah.
it takes 20 years later. Now, April, the story you told yourself is true, girl, about yourself. Always been a bully. You know, you know, but I went through life like not even thinking y'all even liked me.
Really?
Yeah, like it was just story I told myself because it was like, you know, I think I'm gay and all the other stuff. And so you tell yourself, so the point I'm making is for those people that are listening to us, that are telling themselves a story, you're trying to tell somebody else's story about you that's not even fair and not even true.
True.
Because, you know, when we even came together for this, I was like, April likes me? She's cool. Like, I felt like a human being. Like, because when April walked into the room, y'all, April was like turning tables. Like, April was like, and Patrice was like, I'm that girl, I'm the princess. You're going to.
Why do I have to be the princess?
Because
anybody who know me know that is not true.
You cannot be the princess, but you walk in the room very real. You walk in the room royalty.
Well, but and you know what? And I think that, and I can say when we got introduced. So when I presented this idea to Jason, you know, he was just like, okay, you know, good, this and this. Who did you have in mind? This and this. First person I said was Patrice. And he was like, Patrice? I was like, yes. I said, and let me tell you why. I said, she's the total opposite of me. I need that. You know, I am that boastful, loud person that was straight to you off the top of the neck, quick, fast, in a hurry. But Patrice, it takes you a minute to get there. She will listen to you. I will jump off. I jump off. But she's that calm spirit. I have a loud voice. She is a calm spirit. And I need that. I need that balance. I said, and plus with family as well, too. So, you know, we have that balance. And so the other people who I reached out, this and this or whatever. So I'm called Jason. I'm like, look, Jason, it's just me and Patrice. What am I supposed to do? Did this? He said, you know what? I got the perfect person. He said, remember Ryan Jones? I said, Ryan. I said, send me a picture of him because I think I know who he is, but he's not. And so he sent me a picture. I said, oh, yeah.
I wasn't even.
I said, oh, I remember him. I said, he was so quiet. I said, do he know me? He said, April, who don't know you? He said, let's get this straight. Who don't know you? I said, oh, okay. I said, well, talk to him and see if he willing to do it because he may not like loud people. You know, some people don't like loud people, you know, and he seems so well conserved. And then he said, well, he was a preacher. I said, oh no, he may not do it because I cuss. He know I cuss. If I cuss back then, I cuss then. So I'm not gonna stop cussing. So let's get that straight. So he was like, April, just shut up. I got it. Okay, cool. So when the first time we all jumped on board and talked about this, it was like everything flowed. It wasn't no hesitation and nothing. And so I can even remember when Patrice was just like, I don't know. Why me? What I can't talk. I'm not like this. So I was like, okay, I got you. I was just like, let me do the introduction. You know how I am. I ain't scared of nothing. But you know, I be nervous, but I ain't scared. But as we progress, you know, you can see the change. You can see the change to where it was more comfortable. And one of the things that people have said is like, we all so different, but we click in to where we show that you can be a loud, boastful person to a quiet person to an annoying person to the most loving person, but y'all still able to have a decent conversation to get growth out of. And that's one of the reasons that I love what we do and I love my team and what we do is because we come together. You know, y'all used to tell me all the time, April, I need you to stop doing this. April, I'm like, huh? What? But who?
I remember that time I was ready to go to DC and we had that whole vulnerable conversation with April, that V word. Listen, and April was like, you cussing? Like she's still talking about that vulnerable word. So I'm appreciative of all of you guys in this space that we're in, and just what love really means. And so
Mhm.
love for me shows up differently after 35 than it did at 21. I no
Yes.
longer am looking for Hansel and Gretel to come down with some crumbs. Show me I no longer believe in the Cinderella fantasy because there is a happily ever after. And I think when we look at Meghan Markle's interview and Prince Harry, they are the happy
Mhm.
ever after that we never thought about existed. Because we always see in the happily ever after fairy tales is that they ride away off in these ponies and carriages,
And the
but
white.
in a white horse. But what does the happily ever after look like
Right.
with
Yeah.
love? And I think after 35 is when you really begin to see happily ever after don't exist.
Uh-oh. She's like, I'm
Oh,
still,
I don't
I'm still
want
like, don't
it.
say
I
that.
don't
Don't,
want
don't,
that.
don't
But
say that.
But the thing is though, I don't agree with that because I feel like happy is a choice, and happy is um an intention. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't make me happy. I have to already be happy. Only thing that you can add to me is, of course, you can bring things to the table that assist in my happiness. But if I come in already sad, you can't bring me out of that. I have to already have a joy that I can latch on to. And so if I don't already have that, it is going to be hard. You're so stupid. It's going to be hard for us to move. You know what I'm saying? I think that is the
I think we
thing.
look, so that's why I say happily ever after don't exist, but joy does. And that's a state of being. And joy is a state of being where we can pivot in the midst of everything going wrong. We can find joy. And after 35, you begin to think about, you know what? I got joy in those greens Big Mama made 20 years ago.
So stupid.
Hey, I would
It
say
didn't
this.
make me happy at 19. It didn't make me happy at 14 or whatever the case may be. But
I
now,
disagree. I
okay,
disagree because
I'm,
let me tell you something. Any of my family from the Jenkins side that's on, and they will tell you every time I come home, and when Aunt Suge made some black eyed peas or some greens, baby, I was in heaven. I didn't care. It was in joy, whether I was 19, whatever. Still to this day, when I come home, Aunt Suge, I'm a ring, babe. I'm quiet. There's sometimes you can get me quiet for a good moment. And some hot water cornbread and hot sauce. What? My daddy don't even fool with me. He's like, uh-oh, she got hot water cornbread and hot sauce. Don't fool with her for the moment because she finna tune you out. Yes, do. But the thing I think with that is because my family is such a different family dynamic. So we've always been like that. And so I think that's how I still have joy in that as well. But I think when it comes to relationships, it's about finding what makes you happy. You learn what doesn't make you happy first. That's what we learn because of the mistakes and the flaws and things like that.
Right.
But you have to find what makes yourself happy. Then you don't too much project on the happily ever after. It happens when it happens. So you're not looking for it like you used to back in the 20s. It just happens. Now you're focusing on life and this or whatever.
But I don't think I was looking for happily ever after in my 20s. Like I was looking for I if I met somebody and we clicked and we ended up in a relationship, then that's what it was. I don't think that I always thought that those relationships would end happily ever after. Like I can put I can literally say I thought that two relationships, like literally two relationships. Now that I look back on it, I
Mhm.
only thought that two relationships were going to end that way. And in my 20s, and so I feel like it was because of the connection, the
The vibe that y'all
the
had,
bond that we built over
the
time type of thing.
conversations,
But like how I look at relationship at 40 versus how I looked at relationship at 20, Maybe 20. I was in college, okay? It was 20 was fun. Does it make sense? Like 20
Yeah.
was I wanted to have fun. I wanted, not that I couldn't do that in relationship, because I was in a relationship in college, but I'm saying I wanted to have a good time with whom I was with. And I didn't want to always, I still was childish in the thought of, I don't want to always argue. I don't want to always do this.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do the hard things. And
Yeah.
so, not that I didn't have those disagreements or whatever in those relationships, it's just that I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Now that I'm in my, like Ryan said, after 35, I understand that some of those tough conversations were building blocks to get to better places. I started realizing that some of those guys that I dated in my 20s who didn't talk about anything, I was always the one, talking about feelings or whatever. I don't want that. I don't like it. I don't like it.
And I'm not,
I don't want that.
I'm like, I need you to talk about it now. Talk about it.
Yeah, I need you to tell me how, like, teach me how to love you. And that's in friendship, that's in relationship. I want my friends and whoever I end up with, I want them to tell me what they need from me. I am blessed that I have a group of friends that I can talk to them like that. And that could be a fairy tale. Like, some people just like, I've heard people say, well, men don't want to be your best friend. But I've heard men say that their wives are their best friends. I'm just like, pick somebody, tell me what is not that I'm looking for that in that, but I'm saying I've seen it happen. So I'm not saying that you have to. I want you to have a best friend that is your best friend, but I want to create a safe space with me where you'll be able to talk about anything you want to with me, and it's without judgment, and I'm not going to ever throw it back at you like it's
Men want to be your best friend, so that's the key thing. Is there's not a man that does not want to be your best friend. A man wants to be your best friend. It's just how to be a best friend is a challenge. And so, I think that the biggest thing that we as men, so I feel like I can speak from not just a male perspective, but a male dating and pursuing, because I'm gay, perspective. Men, there's a vulnerability that we desire. And I say that, I quantify that by saying this. I qualify this statement by saying this. I work in a toxic culture. I'm in construction industry. And one of the things that's reoccurring in all men in construction or whatever case may be is they desire to have someone to be their best friend. They desire vulnerability. They desire safe space. And I think the challenge and the problem is that we're not making each other feel safe. We're so busy trying to protect our spaces that we're not giving each other enough safe space to be safe.
And I can agree with that. I was in a relationship for almost 6 years, and we never said, I love you. Well, we did every once in a while. I love you. And the reason why, and it wasn't that I didn't care about him, and it wasn't that I don't think that he cared about me. I think that I know on me, he didn't create a safe place where I could trust him with my heart fully. I care about you. I got your back. It was always at the little line. You know what I'm saying? Like, I realized that. I think in the moment I didn't realize it, but I think afterwards I realized, like, you didn't create a safe place for my heart. Like, I didn't trust you with my heart. And like you said, I think that I know I desire that. I would want whomever I end up with to desire the same thing, but it's hard because, like we said at the beginning, people are very slow to trust people with their vulnerable sides because people have used them as ammunition before, or they or we, and like I tell people, they're like, well, women will throw it in your face, and I'm like, the same way you are conditioned to not emote, women are conditioned to believe that men do not do it. You know, you're acting like a girl when you do these things, or you're acting soft when you do these things, and that's a conditioning that we need to break out of, because it's not serving us.
That's so like we need to like change we have to unlearn that space of ourselves and whatever it is. And I think part of it is we're looking for somebody to save us. Male.
And in the beginning, I think that's
whatever.
what it was.
Somebody to save us from our selves and our experiences. We look for somebody to save us from that fantasy, save us from that fear of a nightmare that you may not be enough. That's just my thought.
Well, I can say that in the younger years, yes, that's my thought process. But I had to realize only God and myself can save myself. I can't expect another human being to save myself.
Responsibility, yeah.
So, you know, and so once I realize that I'm able to save myself, then I think it creates a more comfort space for somebody else to come in.
My food, yeah. I'm listening. I'm sorry. My fat self is in this hotel.
No, please do, because I don't need you passing out on live, and we got the call, and because we can't call 911 out
but
there.
yeah, it's later in my time, but than y'all.
Oh yes, it is. That is very true. Yeah. Well, yeah, we don't need you passing out on the live, you know. But
right.
But I will say, and you know, to end the note, to beginning to wrap up, is that, you know, I view relationships very different than I did in the past. There's a lot of stuff that I'm willing to say that I've grown from, that I'm willing to, you know, admit to. And now it's more about kind of what y'all said. It's about building that best friend relationship, you know, first. Building that conversation to where we're able to talk about anything, and on both sides, we're both reciprocal to be comfortable talking about something. If something happens, you should be able to call me and say, hey, okay, this is what happened, this and this, or whatever, this and this. And so I'm able to handle it and diffuse the situation. And that goes on the vice versa. I should be able to call you and tell you this and this or whatever, and you should be able to diffuse the situation, because it's a different type of tone when I'm upset and I'm angry than when I'm hurt that you do. Right. And the same thing goes with in what I do. When I know you're angry, so I have a different tone to try to calm you down than compared to, oh, you know, whatever down this. I have a different type of tone. So you have to be able to distinguish that amongst yourself and any relationship as well too. I think that builds growth as well. But any still thing is a learning process. It's still learning, it's still growing and things like that or whatever. You know, as you get older, you start reflecting more on life. I look now as more like what I want to do when I retire. It's like, if I'm in a relationship, okay, cool. If I'm married, cool or whatever. But by the time I get 60, I'm not trying to work. I'm trying to chill. I'm trying to go on vacation. I'm going to Hawaii with somebody or without somebody. Christian got to be grown, because I know I can't lose him in the islands. Because no, I can't lose my baby in the islands. Because no, even though it's the United States, but I still can't lose my baby in the islands. But you know, I want to travel. I want to do things, and I'm willing to do that by myself. So it's not like I'm looking forward to having a relationship with somebody to travel with it. I'm okay with doing it by myself. I'm good. So, yeah. So that's my ending note on relationships.
Monica L said something so powerful, y'all. Like, this is so powerful.
Yeah, I see what she said.
Yeah.
My husband.
I agree. And I've seen them in action. She's telling the truth. They are so cute.
So how do you see yourself from 35 in dating versus 25 in dating? What is the biggest change for you, April?
My attitude.
Are you sure?
Um, my attitude.
Reese, what's your biggest change?
Because we don't believe April. My biggest change from 25 to 40, I'm more patient. I'm a whole lot more patient.
I'm learning.
Hush, April.
I said I'm learning. I ain't say I was there. I said I'm learning.
I'm a
still-
whole lot more patient. A whole lot more. Like, yeah. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself.
Ryan, what is yours?
I'm aware.
Okay.
And I'm aware. I think awareness for me, in a sense of, so I went through life in my 20s and a good bit of my 30s not being emotionally intelligent.
Mm.
And emotionally intelligence for me is, if a duck quacks, if it quacks, it's a duck.
Period.
If it moves, it's a cow. And emotional intelligence for me is no longer trying to make a cow be a duck and a duck be a cow.
Mm.
That means no longer making potential be purpose in life and accepting it is just potential.
Yeah.
You know. And so and that's and I think for me, so here's something for the person that keeps accepting potential in their lives. Do you accept the potential from yourself? And do you honor yourself? And being responsible enough to acknowledge what you desire is most important to me. You know, and so when I talk to a person or I engage in communication with a person and they can't acknowledge their flaws, I'm good.
That's a win for you.
We not having more conversations. Because if you can't acknowledge your flaws or that you are a human being and that you have whatever issues, yada, 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 I'm good.
Yeah.
Because you are a liar.
Just straight. You're a liar.
You're a liar.
Not a storyteller. You're a liar.
Right.
Period.
Well, what I want the viewers, because we're about to wrap up, because it's late on Ryan's time, and I don't want to keep him up because he has to get up earlier than me and Patrice.
Listen, y'all, I'm coming to Texas tomorrow and then going to LA.
When?
When?
How long are you staying in Texas?
I'll be in Texas for 5 days. Then I'm going to LA for 24 hours. And then I'm going to Mexico.
He loves him from Mexico, don't he?
Does.
Oh, yes,
I
he does.
hate him. Do what you
I
do.
ain't hating.
This is one of the reasons why Let's Talk About It with April J has been on hiatus, because of me. I'm going to be aware and acceptance of me.
Yeah, vacationing big.
Right?
This trip is a vacation trip. The Mexico trip will be a vacation trip. One of my friends and brothers turned 40, I think 2 weeks ago. And so we're celebrating his birthday in Mexico this weekend. And so this year is my journey to 40. And what I've decided, y'all, is I'm no longer going to stop, like, not waiting until I'm in the perfect situation to be myself, but just be myself.
Yeah.
Our next show, if I'm on the beach with this belly out, don't worry about it.
Oh, that's that, Miss Boo Boo. That's what I say. You better take it while you can.
Don't worry about it.
I like that though. I like that. Like, none of us should wait to be who we're supposed to be. Like, if that's who you are, and if whoever you are today is all you're going to be for the next 7 days, stand 13,000 feet tall in it, and move on to the next, and be good. You know, but that we need more of that, because, like you said, like, you need, if I'm allowing you to be you and you're allowing me to be me, we good. Look good.
Not to make it an emotional moment. I'm sorry, April, but I got to say this.
I'm gonna hang up.
I know, right?
Do you remember we had did a show? We had recorded the show, and then we had this long conversation. Like it was like 3 or 4 hours. Like our phones and our tablets had died.
Yes.
I was for DC
yes.
to go to the
Million Man March.
The March.
Million Man March. Y'all, my sisters, these girls, my loved ones. One was like, so take this number down because if you get arrested, you call this number, we got you. We put their money together. And these are girls that I felt like in high school didn't like me.
Aww.
Because I didn't like myself. That was the story I was telling myself, y'all. And so y'all are my strength, my rocks. Y'all are like
I'm hanging up. Didn't I tell you I was a thug? You missed it.
I have some sisters. My sisters, my natural born sisters, is in my step. My sisters is a force to be reckoned with. But these two right here are a force to be reckoned with. And so I say to this that a couple of during that time we had a conversation, Patrice, and you was like, I love you because you need to stand 5,000 feet into who you are. I love somebody that's going to stand 25,000 feet into who you are. And you guys are women, mothers of black boys. Like, y'all didn't have girls. Y'all got 2 black boys. And those black boys, I love them to life. Never met them. I love them to life because I love you guys. But because you allow me to be me and you love me for me, and you encourage me for being like, hey, be like, I don't care if he gay, like, look.
I don't.
April is that one that's gonna ride or die with you, like you said. Like I have my nephew, my niece's husband is crazy. Like he's gonna pull the trigger and be like, man, he had got in my uncle's face. I didn't know that. You know who you are, Josh. I love you, Josh. That's April. Like Patrice is gonna be like, now you know if I pull this trigger, he did.
Yeah, she give you warning. I don't.
She's not giving you the warning that she's not gonna pull it. She just letting you know, like, you know if I pull this trigger.
I'm just like, and pop out. That's all. I'm just like,
you going straight to jail.
Yeah.
You guys, this is what love looks like, and this is how love shows up for me. And so, for me and my journey to 40, I'm redefining what love looks like, and it's like connecting and loving the ones that is like, I'm gonna shoot and ask questions later. I'm gonna shoot, but I'm gonna ask you a question before I shoot. I just want to know if I'll get 2 years or 30 years.
Wait a minute. It's like, should I do April or should I do Patrice? Which one is it? Is it April or Patrice? Which one is it?
Now, don't get me wrong. If you belong to me, I'm at the fool. Now, if it got some time behind it, I'm gonna take a breath and take a beat. I'm gonna sit back.
She's gonna be like, "Am I gonna get 20 years or 30 years?" Okay, I just need to know before I shoot. Because
yeah, she negotiated what she gonna get.
Yeah.
She knows she gonna get some. She just trying to calculate how long it's gonna be. That's hers. I ain't got time to calculate. I'm on the burner phone. I gotta get my
affairs in order.
I'm on the burner phones. I'm like finna hit the country. Only one person finna know I'm gone. This and this, whatever. Yeah, no, yeah, yeah.
You know, Bryce don't like yada yada yada, and he got have.
That is so true.
She just leave Christian out the wind. Bryce go over there.
Christian will be dumped somewhere at a cousin's house or my sister's house. You know what's going on. You know how I am. Don't play me. My family be like, "What you did now?" You know what? Don't worry about it. I'm good.
No, look, Carmen. That's my other. Now, Carmen, that's that other one. Carmen and I won't talk for like 10 years.
Hey, Carmen.
Carmen will show up was like, he's dead. Oh, he was with me.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Carmen. Wait a minute, girl. Cause
So much people like, what we
I
just did.
missed. Carmen, I needed you in this because I needed your comments.
Carmen is a mother of, is it three? Three beautiful boys. Y'all listen. Let me talk about my cousins. And I'm sorry, April. But my her oldest son, we had my niece's birthday party in December. Carmen's son came in there like he was raised. How he was raised was he was appreciative of in the moment. That boy made me cry. And I can appreciate him, but I have to appreciate Carmen.
Carmen is a beautiful soul. She babysit my child a couple of times when I needed her. My child was so receptive of her. And she loved my child to this day. Any picture I have of Christian, she loves it. She loves my baby still to this day. I mean, she said, I miss seeing Christian. You know, she brings off that energy that is loving no matter what. And you can tell in her kids, it shows that as well too. And so you see her post pictures all the time of her kids, her boys, and this and this. And being a mother, it doesn't matter whether you're a girl, have a girl or boy, being a mother, that is something when the older they get, you see how you have reflected off of them. And it's just a natural thing, but you don't even realize it until they get older. I can say,
I'm giving Carmen too much I'm giving Carmen too much credit. Let me give the real credit to my Aunt Jackie. I let me my Aunt Jackie. Like y'all, so
Carmen, take your crown, baby. You still got your crown. Take your crown, baby. Take your crown.
Girl, find a husband after 40. But listen, I'm gonna be 40. I won't get married until I'm 43. And so
oh Lord.
Yeah, so it's gone. But look, our skin is supple. Girl, you're an Ivy. You're my cousin. Look at our skin. So, but
this liquor got him. Wait a minute.
Yes.
Look at him.
And hold on. And he hungry too. He hungry, y'all. He hungry.
If y'all have ever met my Aunt Jackie, like Carmen's mama, if you like, she is like that mama that is like, she's that first aunt that I was like, thank you, Andre. Yeah, she just was like, all right, you 21, right? All right.
I'm that
her mama, but Carmen is the epitome of that. But going back to the whole raising boys, y'all are amazing as mothers of Black men.
Thank you.
Are our future. That are our future. That is, you know, when we look at what's happening in the world today, y'all are the ladies that are influencing how these men love, show up, and be themselves in life.
So I have something to piggyback off of that. So I know you don't have any kids yet, Ryan, but you have nieces and nephews. So what are things that you were not taught about relationship that you are trying to break that generational thing with your kids or your nieces and your nephews?
Being aware of self and being vulnerable enough with self to be aware with self. Because if you don't tell anybody else who you really are, you got to tell yourself. Which is, I snore, I got a belly, I'm fat.
He said I snore. He said I snore. Oh my God.
Listen.
I do too.
But being able to get to that space of accepting that part of you and loving that part of you, because what we project, and that's the part of where I'm saying, like, as Black mothers, as mothers of color, whoever listening, you gotta teach your child to love themselves more than and their flaws. And loving themselves is their flaws. Because If I project loving the flawed part of me, you will come into my life loving the flawed part of me.
Right.
Versus if I project the perfect part of me, which is he takes care of me, he's a protector, he da 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 da, but he got anxiety, he could trigger, like, you know what I'm saying? All those parts of me love me.
And you know, one thing what I can say, and thank you for that. And one of the things for me as a Black mother teaching a son, is that I teach him, he always used to say, I can't. That's not a word. You always try. I said, you may not get it right, but you always try. And that was instilled in me by my uncles and my cousins but it made me not give up. It made me understand that I may not get it right the first time, but there's another way. There's the option B, option C, option D, this and this. And as men, sometimes they are being taught that you have to do it right the first time. You have to get it right, this and this. I want you to be comfortable knowing that you're going to make mistakes. I want you to be comfortable knowing that it's okay. It's a plan B, it's a plan C, this and this or whatever. So it creates that space to where they're allowing other people with flaws. They're allowing other people with mistakes because they realize everybody's not perfect. And as a mother, I encourage people to do that. I mean, you don't have to, but that's one of the things that I see for my son as well, too, that I want to do. And also creating this, I want my child to actually look back to see that my mom was a voice of opinion. She talked about things and talked about issues that was real life to her. And a lot of this stuff is educational as well, too. You know, I want him to understand, teaching him at a young age about race, about, you know, what is it to be a Black boy, you know, the fears of what a Black mother has and things like that. I want to get him prepared because let's just talk, I'm not going to hide through reality. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, you know, and I think teaching him at a young, I can't even say what age, but
Mhm.
now he understands because there was an incident with the police, and now he's like, Mom, there's the police. Are we gonna get pulled over? I said, no, we'll just call your uncle. He's like, oh, okay. I said, but you should never be fearful of the police.
We'll just
He
call
was
it
like, I shouldn't be fearful. I said, no, I don't want you to never be fearful of the police of what happened to Mommy. And he said, well, Mommy, I'm Black. And I said, I get that, but you should be Black and proud. I said, what can ever happen to me may not happen to you, but right now you are a young person who is recognizing that you are a Black person. You're accepting that and you're loving that. And so he gets that. And so now he's like, he wants to be a person to make a change. He's like, I want to be a fire person. I want to be, what do he say? He wants to be a policeman, a fire person, this and this. I'm like, okay. And now he's like, Mommy, I need to get a job because you don't never have no money. You right, darling. I ain't never got no money. I ain't got no money. I ain't never got no money. He was like, but I want to help you, Mommy. And I didn't realize, I was always joking with him, but I didn't realize I'm teaching something into him to take care of his mom. And I never did realize that. But I'm like, okay, that's not a bad thing. But he's 6 years old, wants to take care of his mama, wants to get a job, wants to do chores and clean so he can get $5 each week. You know, I'm preparing him for, you know, things like that. And I never realized I was doing that until it just clicked in.
But how is that going to bleed into his relationships with women when he gets older? Like, I'm not saying it's not going to be a positive thing, but how do you make sure that he has like we were saying, the emotional intelligence, so that all those things that you're instilling in him transfers into his relationships in a positive way? Like, are you intentional with that?
I think for me, when he gets older, is to just to be open and transparent with him and let him know that when you're in a relationship, you know, you look for the good in that relationship. Don't look for somebody like me. Don't look for somebody like me. Look for someone who can make you happy. What makes you happy? what will make you say, I want to be with this person? You know, me and you may have differences and things like that, but I want him to teach him, don't look for exactly like your mama. Don't do that. You make what makes you
Don't do
happy.
that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. But I want to teach him it's okay to love. It's okay to hurt, but you have to get over that hurt before you jump into something new. You know, I'm gonna always be a shoulder to cry on, but I'm gonna always keep it real with you as well too. So, you know, but I want you to learn that it's okay to get hurt. It's okay to cry. If you want to cry in the bathroom, okay, cry in the bathroom. If you don't feel like crying in front of her, okay, cry in the bathroom. It's okay. Just cry. But I want you to be able to be open and express your feelings. I don't never want you to hide your feelings. That's what I don't want you to carry your feelings inside your heart. I don't want you to carry your feelings inside your soul, things like that. Be open, be very transparent with the person. And if that person is not willing to accept it, then you have a choice. You know, you can move on, or if you're willing to stay, but if you're willing to stay and that person don't say something, be okay with the fact that you may get hurt. Be okay with what happens, what transparent. So, you know, teaching him that.
My hope is, first of all, I have one of those kids that I don't know. My friends call him the golden child. He's not aggressive. He's not mean. They call him the golden child because he doesn't get into trouble. He doesn't like to get into trouble. But what I'm trying to instill in him is like you were saying, Ryan, like you're a people you were a people pleaser. I think that he likes to see that in people. And while I want him to be okay with making people smile and his deeds make people happy, I don't want him to get into a place where he's doing that at the detriment of himself.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to be okay with, there's going to be people who don't like you.
Yeah.
There are going to be people who don't like your actions, and I'm okay with that. One thing that people, the stereotype with the single mother raising boys is, we make them soft or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't think it's soft. Don't get me wrong. Like I do not coddle my child. I do not baby him at all. If he's crying, we're going to have a whole conversation, but that's something that I want him to learn, because I have encountered too many men who do not know how to reconcile their emotions, right? So I am trying to teach him at 9, why are you crying? And I want him to, if he's hurt, I want him to cry. If it's something, if he's sad, I want him to cry. He cried the other day because he broke a piece off of his phone case. Sir, that ain't it.
Sir, that ain't
too
it.
much. Too much emotion on that one. Let's dial that one back.
Yeah.
But he's trying to learn how to ride his bike without training wheels, and he was outside and he was frustrated and he was crying. And had that been like my dad out there or my uncles, they would have been like, "Boy, what you crying for? What you do?" And I'm like, he's frustrated. Mm-hmm. Let him be frustrated. Now, I'm gonna let him work through that. And when he's done, I'm going to say, why were you crying? I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. Okay. For me, you being frustrated means that you care whether or not you get this thing. And I'm okay with that. As long as your frustration doesn't come out angry, all that kind of thing, I'm going to let you flow through that. And that's one thing I want. I want my son to be emotionally intelligent, period. I don't want him projecting on women. I do not want him, waiting for women to figure out what's wrong with him, or I don't want that for him. I want him to be able to tell whoever he's with, this is what's wrong with me. This is what I need from you. I need some space. Or I need him to say those things, because as a woman, it is not fun dating men who don't know how to express their emotions. And it could be as simple as, I just need a break. I need to go walk. I need to go do this, instead of, I need that. I need him to be that person. I want him to break that. I want us, because we do it to our boys and our community. And like I said, while we're doing it to our boys, we're doing it in front of our girls, and we're telling them they can't feel. Now you got to have the whole world on your back, but
Yeah.
you better not cry, you better not break.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that.
And I think it's about knowing your child, knowing how your child emotions are, what triggers them and things like that. You are better able to handle that in a certain type of way. Because just like I said, me and Matrice, we have sons. That don't mean we're going to treat or we're going to handle the situations the same just because we have Black boys. Our sons are differently emotional. My child, he will hold his cry until, Christian, what's wrong with you? And then that's when I honestly have to pull it out of him to cry, So, and I just look, and sometimes I just have to realize is that, and sometimes it do be me in my tone, and I'll be like, okay, Christian, did mommy do something? You're like, yes. I'm like, okay, well, what did mommy do? And he didn't want to say nothing. And so I just take a guess at it and I just get it out. And then I just be like, okay, I'm sorry. I apologize, this and this, whatever. But I know how my child is. I can't say that my way will work for Patrice's child, if any of that situation. I can't say my way will work for anybody else's child because I don't know your child. But I would say as a Black mother, get to know your child, get to know, how their emotions are. But you also teach them off of that as well. But the one thing what I can say across the board is let them know it's okay to cry. Let them know that, do not hold your emotions in, because I feel that if I let my child hold his emotion in and not cry, when he gets older, he's going to become angry. And he's just, instead of him being emotion, he's just going to reflect off of anger or frustration all the time and quick to snap. So that's why
and there are some men who don't mind, emoting, but they won't do it with everybody because of, like we were saying. So it's like we have to learn. We teaching our girls and our boys that how to create a safe place for other people. Yeah. They don't have to be their boyfriend, girlfriend. It can be their best friend. It can be a friend of a friend. It can be whatever. We need to teach our kids how to create relationships that are healthy, no matter what the title is, and give them. You're muted, Ryan.
You're muted.
Unmute yourself.
No, look, be safe with themselves. Listen, that's what's key. Being safe with themselves is really important. If you can't be safe with yourself, then I can't start to be safe with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's key.
Yeah.
So y'all, listen. I know it's y'all. It's late. Y'all got babies and stuff. I'm gonna say this on here, and it's probably gonna be crazy. Carmen, you first, because so many people. But I'm gonna do something on Sunday that I've never done before. The idea came to me this morning, so you guys are first to know. With those that are watching in Carmen, yes, we'll bring you on one day. But Sunday, I'm going to do a Uncle Ryan's Easter egg hunt in December. I'll text y'all the address if you hit me up. But if you can bring the boys, if not, I have something for them. I'll be in Dallas. We're going to do the Sunday Easter egg hunt. I'm going to be on a grill. We're going to do live. I'm going to do a live little thing or whatever. But it's Easter is one of my favorite holidays. And it's not the churchy thing. It's about the family thing in the moment.
Yeah.
And Carmen, if you come, we're gonna go live, girl.
Carmen will be there.
She'll be there because it's around the corner.
I know.
I'm gonna be doing grilling out or whatever, but I'd love for y'all to come if you can. Perfect. If you can't, then we'll just join me on my live or whatever. But I want to do this Blackwood Jewel Easter egg hunt celebration on Sunday. And so I'm excited about it, and I hope you're there. Carmen says she's there, but yeah, that's all I had to say. And I'm about to get my food.
We about to go. We about to
We
go,
about to-
y'all.
Well, we about to go, but I would like to just include to everyone who joined in, thank you for everyone who joined in the comments. We always love the comments. Please always comment, share, things like that. But the one thing note that I want to leave is that, your opinion is not right or wrong. As you see, we all have three different opinions that we can bounce back and agree off of each other. The one thing what I want to leave is that you have to learn to love yourself
Yo,
first.
my mom was calling me. She is like going off because I didn't announce this whole thing at her house.
See, that's
She-
what you get. That's what you get. It's not our fault. It is not our fault.
Look, y'all, she didn't call. She didn't call.
But
Yeah.
I will say before we end this that it was a pleasure, and I'm always enjoyed to have my crew on here. It was always a pleasure to see the comments, everybody that joins and logs in. I hope and pray that y'all have enjoyed this conversation. And of course, there's many more to come. So please share, please talk about it, like the page. We will make sure we will keep y'all more up to date on things like that. And so we always want to stay informed. So with that note, everyone, have a good night. Love you.
Love you
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.